Welcome to my channel. This presentation is a summary of how I performed a flashing ? folder self-repair on my model number Alpha 1419 2017 27-inch Fusion Drive iMac, which experienced a split and failed Fusion Drive. Once again, this is a self-repair video. If you are currently experiencing the flashing ? folder on your Fusion Drive iMac, before you take any self-repair actions, I highly recommend that you first watch my video, How I Perform ? folder Troubleshooting and Diagnosis for Fusion Drive iMac, which is linked at the end of this video, may also be found on my channel, as it might prove helpful in troubleshooting and diagnosing your iMac for a successful repair. The required equipment: the original Apple Magic keyboard, which was provided with the iMac, an Apple USB-A to Lightning cable, a USB mouse, and a Ventura bootable USB drive. As demonstrated, my previously fused Fusion Drive included a 3 TB HHD drive and a 128 SSD Flash Storage Drive, and I verified that it split after the 128 Flash Storage Drive failed. For the self-repair, I basically erased and reformatted the HHD and disk utility and downloaded Ventura without replacing the failed SSD. So technically, the iMac no longer has a Fusion Drive, and the single HHD now functions similar to non-Fusion Drive iMacs. I chose this option in part because it was a simple method to get the iMac working again without having to disassemble it, and add new SSDs or new HHD drive. At the end of this presentation, I summarize both the positive and issues regarding the self-repair course of action. These are the 5 primary iMac repair actions that I executed during the self-repair. Upgrading the memory isn't required for the self-repair, but I did upgrade the memory from 16 GB to 64 GB to help compensate for the loss of the 128 GB flash drive. And understand that if you have a similar Alpha 1419 iMac, that the capacity is 64 GB with 4 16 GB modules that can be accessed on the rear of the iMac. If you're planning on upgrading, I recommend checking and verifying specifications with Google AI, which recommended OWC and Crucial as the best choices for replacement. Turn off the iMac and unplug all non-essential accessories and connect the Apple Magic keyboard with the Lightning cable attached, the USB mouse, and Ventura bootable USB drive into the iMac rear USB ports. Boot into Internet Recovery with Ventura bootable USB drive. First, turn off the iMac, then turn on the iMac and hold the Option key on the Apple Magic keyboard. Then release the key after about 20 seconds or when the drive icon appears, and follow the prompts to Internet Recovery Utilities. As a friendly warning, ensure that your data is backed up before you erase and format your HHD and disk utility. Go into Disk Utility and click View and then Show All Devices. Select the top level HHD. Click Erase, rename the drive, format APFS, scheme, guild, partition map, and then click Erase again. To install Ventura on the HHD, in Internet Utilities, click on Install Mac Ventura. Then select the HHD that you formatted in the disk utility and follow the installation prompts until complete. In closing, my brief assessment of this self-repair with 3 positive points and 2 potential issues. The first positive point is that the iMac currently performs the same way that it did before the Fusion Drive failed and split. The second point is that the self-repair was user-friendly, effective, and cost-effective. The third point is that disassembling the iMac was not required for the self-repair with these actions, which is important because this iMac is somewhat challenging to disassemble and reassemble correctly. First, I want to mention that these 2 issues don't bother me, but worth noting for others who might not feel the same. So the first issue is that the iMac gets this displayed error message on start or restart if a startup disk icon isn't clicked, but it always starts or restarts with a startup disk. And this is important because I downloaded Ventura twice to the HHD because I initially could not figure out why the iMac worked just fine when it was on, but kept on getting the error message on starts and restarts. I didn't find this simple solution to this problem on the internet, but figured it out the second time that I downloaded Ventura through troubleshooting and trial and error. Keeping in mind that the startup disk used to be located on the failed 128GB Flash Storage SSD on the previous Fusion Drive, it seems as though the iMac might still be looking for the startup disk there during startup and restarts. Except now the startup disk is obviously located on the HHD, and the iMac no longer has a functional 128GB Flash Storage SSD or Fusion Drive. So it seems as though the iMac just needs some help locating the startup disk on the HHD for successful starts and restarts. The following are 3 startup disk locations for starts and restarts. The second issue is that the iMac will only start with the Apple Magic Keyboard with lightning cable attached, USB mouse, and Ventura bootable drive. It will not start with the non-Apple Magic Keyboard or wireless mouse. But again, this isn't an issue for me because after I start the iMac with the following method, I swap back to my other keyboard and Apple Magic Mouse with no issues. To start the iMac, first turn off the iMac and unplug all non-essential accessories and connect the Apple Magic Keyboard with the lightning cable attached, the USB mouse, and Ventura bootable USB drive into the iMac rear USB ports. Next, turn on the iMac and hold the Option key on the Apple Magic Keyboard. Next, release the key after about 20 seconds or when the drive icon appears. The last step is to click on the startup disk. If you found this information helpful, please show support for future presentations by leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. Thank you.